Relationships, like anything worth partaking in, have their ups and downs, no matter how wonderful they appear. We've all had difficult moments with individuals we care about, and in good relationships, periodic squabbles are usually nothing to worry about. However, at some time, you may be confronted with a difficult-to-ignore feeling of doubt. You feel as if you've lost touch, or a traumatic occurrence has harmed your trust. So, how can you tell whether a relationship is over? You should examine your relationship with your partner more closely. Analyzing the good and bad moments might help you decide whether your problems are worth fighting through or, in some situations, if it's time to call it quits. Even if you still love one another, staying together may not be the best option for either of you. When we've been emotionally committed to something for a long time, it can be simpler to ignore disagreements, even if they happen more often than they used to. It's never easy to consider ending a relationship with someone you care about. However, by knowing how to detect when a relationship is finished and preparing yourself to deal afterwards, you can decide how to proceed. If you're not sure what to do, consider these 6 significant signals that a relationship may be finished. But before we continue with our video, we are requesting all of you to please subscribe to our channel, Believer. And just like you, we are believers of love and happy relationships, and our main goal is for you to build great relationships with the ones you love. Please subscribe to our channel and comment, "I am a believer of love," so we can officially welcome you to our channel. May all of you be well, especially during this time of pandemic and wherever you are in the world. We hope and pray for your safety and good health. We are not advocating that you end it, but rather that this movie opens your eyes so that you and your spouse may talk and resolve various concerns in your relationship. Number 1, the trust is gone. Whether your partner had an affair or simply does not maintain promises, trust is difficult to re-establish. If you don't trust the person in your corner, it's an obstacle that inhibits you from making a real relationship. Trust is the core of a committed relationship, and a lack of it hollows it out from the inside, Bonnier explains. To regain it, both parties must focus not just on trust but also on the underlying issues that led to the breach in the first place. Number 2, there is no emotional bond. It's difficult to judge if a relationship is worth saving when the flame has faded. One of the most telling indicators that your relationship is coming to an end is that you are no longer vulnerable and open with your partner. A key component of happy, healthy relationships is that both partners feel comfortable communicating their thoughts and opinions with one another. When we find ourselves acting in unusual ways, we may need to conduct some soul-searching to acquire a better understanding of where our attitude is coming from. Suzanne Deges-White, Ph.D., a professional psychotherapist, states if you're not communicating what's really on your mind, it could be an indication that you're no longer interested in a meaningful connection. Similarly, if you've noticed that the normal amusing banter between you has vanished, or that it's harder to have stimulating conversations, your bond may be deteriorating. Number 3, physical intimacy no longer appeals to you. Over the course of a relationship, intimate desire might fluctuate. If you're in a rut and can't seem to get your intimate life back on track, it's not necessarily the end of the relationship. Deges-White suggests remembering the first time you were intimate with your lover and analyzing how it makes you feel. On the other hand, if your desire has faded and you're no longer interested in your spouse, this could be an issue. A lack of interest is frequently indicative of the health and possible duration of a relationship. When the mere thought of your lover getting close to you or touching you intimately is upsetting, it could indicate that the relationship needs to be revamped or that a separation is imminent. Number 4, it's difficult to agree on anything. Another clue that you're on the verge of a split is that you no longer see eye to eye. When you have regular conflicts, it can develop on both sides. Take it seriously when fighting is unrelenting, to the point where there are very few minutes of peace, advises licensed clinical psychologist Andrea Bonnier, Ph.D. Even if it appears unusual, not arguing enough can be a red flag. Some couples get so tired of fighting that they simply stop. They frequently stop sharing things with one another and have no ability to bring up any form of argument. When the only thing you can agree on is that you can't agree on anything, it's a bad sign for the relationship's future. Number 5, your objectives are not in sync. When partners want different things, it is one of the most difficult disconnects to tolerate in a relationship. It's difficult to realign your hopes if you're not preparing for the same goals in life, no matter how strongly you care for each other. Sometimes, even partnerships, with a lot of love can be hindered by goals that are completely different, Bonnier says. Couples often fight with their desires for children, professional goals, or where they want to reside. There is hope with compromise, but without it, the warning flags are difficult to ignore, she says. Regardless of what's generating a schism in your relationship, it's never a pleasant situation to be in. If you're still in love and want your relationship to endure, you might consider getting counseling to help you communicate and understand each other better. Every relationship has its challenges, so if you're positive your spouse is the one, try discovering new ways to work through disagreements in a healthy way for you both.